guys, how's it going? So today's plan is to plant a bunch of things, mostly annuals, some perennials. We're going to be moving through several different areas of the garden. I'm really excited about it because I'm ready to have some of these areas filled in. Now our weather is going to get kind of bad today, I think. We're supposed to have a bunch of wind this afternoon. In fact, last night it was howling. We got a little bit of rain, lots of wind this spring. I don't know about you guys, but I can deal with a lot of different weather situations, but wind after a while, oh boy. About done with it. We are going to start here by the raised beds. They're all looking really good. Oh, here comes the sun. It does warm up quite a lot when the sun's shining down. So I'll probably be on and off with my lighters today. There's one bed that I've been working on cleaning out. We've got some leftover spinach and I've just been pulling one row at a time and giving it to the chickens. But we're going to plant up these two pots right here and then the one in the center. Look at some of the stuff in here. Oh, some of it we started from seed, like the geraniums. There's also a couple of flats of white delphiniums we started from seed. We've got Supertunia Bordeaux, Supertunia Priscilla right here. James Britannia called Safari Dusk. I think this was either new this year or last year. Amazing annual. If you see this one, you should try it. We planted it behind our chicken coop last year and it performed its head off. But I had it all together, so I kind of wanted to try it in a mixed sort of situation this year. These are the Maverick Apple Blossom Geraniums, and then we've got the Bullseye Salmon. So happy with how all those turned out. And there's some Carolee Petite Pink Gara right up there in the front of the gator. And as we move through, I think every area is going to require something a little bit different. For containers, I always put in the slow release fertilizer. And then in in-ground planting areas, I use this fertilizer. It goes a lot further. And I might need to be trimming some boxwoods here and there. I think we're gonna hopefully plant the Parterre behind the Hartley today. So I've got my hedge trimmers, I've got my Felcos, and I've got my 3-inch Laura Edition auger. So I think we're good to go. My plan is just to set up one camera in every area so we can move a little quicker. I'm not gonna move it around a bunch. And we're just gonna capture each area as we move through it. And then in the end, we will do a walkthrough tour to take a look at all the combinations and what we ended up getting done, which may end up happening today or tomorrow, depending on the weather. Night before last, we were down to what, like 37 or 38 degrees at the end of May. It's crazy. All right, guys, I'm excited for this. Let's get started. Oh my goodness, you guys. Those poor little 4-inch geraniums that have been in the greenhouse. I fear for them. I hope that they hold on. All right, guys, we're gonna give this another go. If I could just get this spot done today, that would be awesome. It looks a little bit dark. I don't think you can see it at this point, but just beyond the arborvitaes at the horizon, there's another dark cloud moving this way, so we'll see what happens. Everything survived out here though. I was a little nervous for those geraniums because most of them were bent almost down to the ground, and I thought they were gonna snap and they didn't. Also, in the property right behind us, the skid steer and the road grader are still working, and so right as those gusts were coming up, they were scraping up a new spot that was all dry. and it was blowing all of that dirt right over to this space. So I felt like I had a mouthful of dirt. They're really getting it nice and leveled out back there. Okay, so here we go. See what else we can get done. Oh boy, I think we're in for it. Gotta hurry. Well, it looks like the sun has come out for our tour. Now, I didn't get quite as much done as I was hoping to at the very beginning of the day, but we got kind of winded out. It just was blowing so hard, and that allows us to get other things done. I needed to water in the Hartley and in the greenhouse, and I did a little organizing in the Hartley as well. So there's always something to work on. But in terms of planting, though, I'm happy with what we got done, given the weather. We're gonna go in reverse order here, starting here in the Persephone garden. So that's Persephone right there in the center. We've got some Green Mountain cone boxwoods there, and then underplanted with the Surefire white begonia. And it just looks so sparkly and fresh right now. I love it. Take a look from the front here. The sun is shining down. I just think this is going to be such a clean and fresh look throughout the season. And the Surefire rose begonias did beautifully in this spot. You can see that we've got some honey locust trees right above, which make this sort of an interesting area. Sun comes up over here, goes down on this side. So in the afternoon, these front two kind of triangles get a lot of sun, but not on the back side of the boxwoods. And as these leaf out even more, these back two boxwoods really get quite a lot of shade. So to find an annual that can do both sun and shade, or something in between, and perform the same and look beautiful and all that, you kind of limit it a little bit. And the Surefire begonias have been amazing, and I suppose we could try some Color Blaze coleus. That would probably work really well, but I like to have blooms right here. We did Surefire white under the maple trees on the west side last year, and it was just beautiful. So we just kind of flip-flopped where we were doing the surefires. And sometimes when you find something that works, especially if you're putting in all the effort and all these plants into one area, you want it to work. So once you find that kind of sweet spot, it's hard not to want to repeat it. What do you think, Russell? It's looking pretty good. Might be getting a little bit of weather here in a minute. Let's head to the Parterre garden. I swear that container right there is already put on growth just in the last few days. Amazing. Okay, so right in this area, we got to use a bunch of the geraniums. In fact, we used all but one of this variety, the bullseye salmon, in these 4 quadrants and the 2 containers over there. And that's what we got done in this space. So in here, I just kind of placed them around, I guess. I had 8 of the Super Tunia Bordeaux that I knew I wanted to kind of intermix. So I placed those just kind of randomly in the center, knowing that they're gonna make their way in between all the geraniums. And I just think it's a really fun look. Every single one of the quadrants is basically the same. I didn't count or anything. I mean, I know there's 8 Super Tunias. I have no idea how many geraniums. I just kind of went with what felt right. So there's that quadrant and this one right here. We cleaned the violas out and pansies out of these 2 containers, and Bethany took those home. She came back through right before she left and got all the rest of the pansies out of these pots to take home. But I am really pleased with these containers. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. These are the leaf motif urns from Henry's studio, and I put 5 of the bullseye salmon in the center, surrounded by the double twilight super bells and the big leaf wire vine. And I just think it's a beautiful mix. Look at that. There's something delicate about it. I think it's that wire vine. It just gives it kind of an airy feel. So now I have to decide if we're gonna take those evergreens out, the big ones. I loved the containers over here last year. You know, we did Royal Velvet and then that Cobalt Superbena or Imperial Blue, I can't remember which one. Anyway, it was kind of just a blend of purples. You can tell I like purples a lot. And they were absolutely gorgeous, but I love the weight that these evergreens bring to the corners, and I kind of love to be able to use them for one more winter before we move them out. Because either way, whether or not we take them out now or take them out next spring, they're going to be a beast to get out of the container. We'll see. Having color in small pots around might be enough. And we might be able to get away with doing some super bells underneath those evergreens. They would probably be fairly compatible water-wise. All right, so one more look at the Parterre. Still haven't found the right thing for the center yet. I'm just gonna wait on it and wait till something just shouts at me. It's kind of the same thing for the circle in our brick patio area. I just asked Aaron today if we should go get the base of that Kensington fountain, because you know it cracked. It was that 3-tier fountain we had in that triangle shaped garden that doesn't exist anymore. The fountain bottom cracked, but we saved all the pieces because I thought somewhere at some point in time I might want to change that into a planter. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? It might give us a good idea by putting it there, knowing it's kind of like not a permanent thing and we didn't invest in anything new. Putting something there to get an idea of what scale we want for that space might be a good idea, especially because I don't have anything else to put there. Okay, last spot is the vegetable garden. I was actually hoping to get this flower bed and this flower bed done today, and we just ran out of time with the weather being what it was. That Zephyrin Drouin Rose though, we just gotta stop in case we miss it. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And it's just hi girls, hey girls. It's just loaded with buds. There's just buds everywhere. And it's thornless, completely thornless. Do you guys love this rose?
Yeah. We run.
Did you run?
Yeah.
Are you tired? Oh, I like your layers. Very nice.
I bought some armies going to come here by tomorrow.
Some army guys? Are you excited? You worked for that money to buy those too, huh? One more thing real quick before we head over. In fact, we can just walk there. This is that space I was talking about. I think I want water here at some point in time, but I don't think I want anything tall. I mean, my first inclination is to put, a multi-tiered big statement piece, but I don't know if I really want that. I think that might be too much. I want it to be scaled right. I want to be able to maybe see across the top of it so we can still see the Hartley. So I don't know, maybe trying that Kensington, which I think would be about, I don't know how tall it would be, maybe 3 feet tall. Maybe that would be a good way to test it out. I don't know. Aaron doesn't really like that fountain base, so I told him I could get it all covered up with plants. He won't even see it. Okay, so here we are at the raised bed garden. I love these. Look at this mix. It just looks so soft. So 3 of the Maverick apple blossoms. Looks like they fared the wind pretty good. 3 of the Supertunia Priscilla and 3 of the James Britannia Safari Dusk. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And in this center one, I skipped the James Britannia just because it's a smaller reservoir and went with the Apple Blossom and Priscilla, and we'll let the Priscilla just fill in. And I wanted to use this one because 1, I love it, but 2, I used it over here, the colettes. Can we make it through here? They're just starting to bloom. Look at this. Ah, so pretty. I need to do some pruning. Gah. Anyway, we used them in these urns right here, so I wanted to draw some of that same interest further down the line. Not that you can see it at the moment. Couple of fun things in here as well. We've got the beautiful little cabbage. Those are the Katarina small cabbage. Bachelor's buttons that self-seeded. Garlic is looking awesome this year. Actually thinking I'm going to be harvesting it early, because usually an indicator is when you start seeing these brown. You don't want to wait too much longer because these equal the covering on the outer parts of the cloves. The more of these that dry up, the less covering or protection you have around your head of garlic. Rustle. And then, okay, one more thing. Look at our broccoli. These came out of one of our winter sowing jugs, just one of our jugs. There was 20 or 21 plants. They all look awesome and no bug damage yet. I've kept this frost cloth on here on purpose. It's all pinned up though somehow, because even though it doesn't need the protection from the frost anymore, it keeps the cabbage moths off of them, which keeps the little caterpillars at bay, and so we don't get as much damage. So anyway, guys, that is what we got done today. I'm super happy with all of the flower combinations. I think they're all really pretty. We still have quite a lot to do. In fact, Bethany was going around because I think she's going to make one last push to put pansies and stuff in her garden. So she was emptying out all the containers that still had them. I think all the containers, minus these 4 on the brick patio, have been emptied. So we've got more containers yet to come. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.